reporting. Excellent news has been coming from every front lately, but special interest for us in Britain is naturally reserved for reports of Allied success in France. Members of the Russian military mission, which recently visited Normandy, were first shown how and where our bridgehead was secured, with emphasis on the work of airborne troops. From General Dempsey, commanding the Second Army, they received the latest intelligence of the situation in his sector. Leaders prominently concerned with the latest operations by United Kingdom and Canadian forces are seen at a recent conference. Monty and Air Chief Marshal Sir Trafford Leigh-Mallory, Air Marshals Broadhurst and Cunningham, and on the left General Crerar commanding the Canadian Army. Some of the Allied leaders in France making the Hun dance to their tune. Very important advances have since been made all the way from the hinge of the Allied line, south of Caen, to the distant battlefield in Britain. The Canadians and their comrades from the old country have been pushing the enemy back in spite of the most fierce and stubborn resistance. One of our latest film dispatches from this sector shows the Guards advancing to clear the Germans out of a defensive position they'd been ordered to hold at all costs. The Guards cleared them out, and one more piece of French soil was cleansed of what Mr. Churchill called the filthy pollution of the Hun. Almost the whole front was on the move by now, and in many places the pace was very hot indeed. South and east, the Allies streamed through the breaches made in the Hun's lines. German plan to contain the lodgement area in France had been smashed to pieces. Villers-Bocage, which had been one of the toughest nuts to crack, was ours. A ruined town, but an important position. The Hun had fled, leaving countless mines behind him, and our flail tanks were hard at work. The Hun had left something else behind him, a great mass of equipment. Tanks, vehicles and guns. Vital equipment of every kind. Some of it simply abandoned in his hurry to get away, but most of it smashed by our own tanks, our own artillery, our infantry, and our typhoons. Very heavy losses, which Hitler's generals, those of them he doesn't hang, that is, can most certainly not afford to lose. These were von Kluge's. How can he hope to replace them in sufficient quantity and in time? At last, Hitler is being beaten in the field on every front, and his weapons that were to conquer the world, his weapons of destruction, are themselves being destroyed wholesale.